Hey, gonna be doing a little bike maintenance today on the YZ250F. Gonna change the oil filter, and the air filter. We're going to be taking off this cover plate to change the oil filter, and I'll show you how we do that. We're also going to be taking off the seat to get to the air filter, and we'll go over that. For the air filter, we're going to be removing these bolts right here with a 10mm. So now we got to the air filter. We're going to be removing this wing nut in the back. Air filter doesn't look too bad. Seen a lot worse. We're going to change it out anyway with a new one. Wash this one, hang it up to dry. Next time we change it, I'll have one ready. Carefully remove the air filter. Okay, so I wiped down the inside of my air box, and we're going to replace this new filter in there now. So the air filter goes on there a certain way, and there's little slots on the back of the air filter that fit on the housing that holds the air filter in place. Make sure it's seated correctly and screw it back in. Next, we're going to change the oil and the oil filter. And the oil drain plug is located right here, and also right here. Next, we're going to be tackling the oil and the oil filter. Before you pull your drain plug, you want to release the pressure in the oil reserve by unscrewing your dipstick. so the air can flow. And there you go. Let that drain. One thing you can do while your oil is draining is you can look really closely and see if you see any metal flakes. And I don't see any, which is good. This oil's got about 8 rides on it. Not very hard rides. Just a little trail riding. Anyway, we'll let that drain and we'll move on to the other plug. And you see oil draining from, there's oil in the frame of the bike. We'll let that finish draining and we're going to be removing the oil filter, which is located behind this plate. So there's 3 bolts that are going to need to be removed. Now there's a couple rubber O-rings in here that you want to be careful about not damaging or losing, for that matter. There's 4 O-rings. There's the big one around the cover. There's 2 right here at the bottom. This is the oil filter, and this is another O-ring here coming out of this port. So, just remove your air filter. Pretty easy. This is the new oil filter, excuse me. It's a high flow. It's not very much. Save your bike. Replace this like every other time you ride. Or every other time you change your oil, actually. Warmed up your bike, you turn this nut and you should see oil seep out of this oil port within a few seconds, and that lets you know that oil is flowing correctly through your engine. If you change your oil, you start your bike, you loosen this nut. If you don't see oil seep out from the edges in a few seconds, turn your bike off. This only goes in one way. Looks pretty good in there. It's just going to sit like that for a second. I wipe out the inside of the cover. Clean this up a little bit. So you just want to replace your bolts. Okay, so now we got the oil filter back in, the air filter. Now we're going to replace the oil drain plug and fill it with oil. So tip the bike over and get all the rest of the oil out of the bike. Let's put some oil in. Okay, so the amount of oil that we're going to be putting in is 1.1 quarts if you haven't changed your oil filter, and 1.2 if you did change your oil filter.